We might be using AI to help us translate our ideas quicker, but we are still going to need people that actually check this to make sure that what you actually intend is what you built. Because again, programming is a rigorous exercise.
There's a difference between coding and solving problems. There's a vast difference. It's not the same. It can be a script kiddie, understanding programming language and everything, but it can't be an engineer with that mindset. So if you know how to solve the problems, if you know the basics, then we tell the LLMs what to do, and if they do it, we accept that what they did is right, and then you use it to solve the problem.
I think AI is like the news. When you are not knowledgeable about a subject and you hear about it being reported on the news, it seems very accurate.
Exactly.
But once you have a modicum of expertise in that sector and you hear what you're saying, 90% of it, unfortunately, is usually nonsense.
Exactly.
Welcome to Building Bytes, where we tell a relevant story about Ghana's tech ecosystem to fuel innovation and drive growth. This episode is brought to you with production support from Hoptel and is shot in the studios of Hoptel Academy. Today, we talk about, we celebrate the builders, the architects, behind the scene, the coders of Ghana's tech ecosystem. But before we do that, we have two distinguished gentlemen here. But before we go into that, let's do what's happening in tech.
Okay, so thank you. So we are moving on to what happened in tech. This week we are reviewing one story and then give a highlight of a number of raises and a number of entering into accelerators in the ecosystem. So I'll start off with Complete Farmer. So Complete Farmer has raised $2 million USD from a donor fund, and Jetstream has also raised additional funding to support with their infrastructure and what they are building currently. And also to go talk about some of the startups which have gotten into accelerator program. That's the Google Startup Accelerator Program, Regalion and Xeron. Interesting names. They've gotten into the Google Startup Accelerator. So you see the details on your screen. So to move on to the story that we are reviewing today, which is a very big story, the CEO of GIPS, which is Ghana's interbanking, processing, switching, all of that. He's resigned after almost 18 years on the job, and a lot is being said about him. So I just read a number of them from Hoptel CEO and a few other leaders in the ecosystem. So this is more like a tribute to the Titan which has left. So from the Hoptel CEO, he says, as he moves on from this role as the CEO of GIPS, we pause to honor the man whose steady leadership and vision helped define an entire industry. He has been and will extremely be the titan and the gentle giant of the Ghanaian fintech infrastructure, the steady hand behind the scenes who help transform how Ghanaians move money, access services, and engage with the digital economy. This is just one of them. I think I want us to react to the story. I mean, two of you work actively in the fintech industry, and then you guys know how important it is to like move money, and it's moved, and how important gives plays in that role. So he's left after 18 years. What are your thoughts? Did you do a good job?
I think Ghana has one of the, when it comes to payment infrastructure, we have one of the good routes. Like, I have a friend who used to work at Eastern Africa, and he tells me that Rwanda, the rest, like, there's nothing there. Like, it's basically blank, right? But Ghana has one of the best payment infrastructure in the continent. For example, today you can send from MTN to Airtel Tigo, you can send from MTN to Vodafone, you can send from your phone to the bank, you can get money from the bank to your mobile money wallet and everything. So I think it's done a good job. I remember the pre-era when if you want to build a fintech, you have to go to Zenith Bank, and Zenith Bank have to give you keys, and you have to give them UAT testing. Like, those days were brutal. And as a developer, you have to go through a lot of like back and forth with them. But today, I think GIPS has led has made a lot of company exist that today you just need API keys from one company, and you can just tell it to route money to another telco, another network, and your money is gone. And I think that he's done a good job.
Yes, that's great.
I'm not personally familiar with Mr. Hesse, but I also remember before payments were huge, right? It was a bit of a mess. But you can see that now we have something, and there's this feature we have in the ecosystem that's really underlooked, which is GH Link.
Okay.
So we have our own local quote unquote visa processing, which Gibbs pioneered.
So I think, not to cut you, I think the first video we did when I think we reviewed this article where I think GH Link was processing for visa.
Yeah.
I think we had Eric.
I recall that one.
GH Link actually processes
for visa now.
If you do
So it makes it faster,
it
easier.
makes it efficient.
So we don't have to go outside.
So if you're doing a local transaction and using visa, it doesn't process outside; it processes locally.
Internally.
So I think he's done a lot.
Exactly. So as I said, I don't know him personally, or even I didn't even know who he was. But by the fruit of their works,
you know them.
And I would say that Gibbs has been a stalwart in our system. To be honest, if you've done payments over the years, you will notice that things have gotten much better now. And again, maybe this is a bit of a knock on the telcos, but we still have to say I'm sending to Vodafone, I'm sending to MTN, you know, all those things. Those are things that I don't think.
And the funny thing is, if I say I'm sending to MTN and it's a Vodafone number,
they'll tell me no. They'll tell you this is a Vodafone number, but you know what I mean.
They'll tell them.
But we have these functionalities now where it's easy to switch. So I would say that he did a yeoman's job.
That's great. I'll read one more tribute from the president of the Ghana FinTech and Payment Association. So he says personally he's also a mentor who has helped shape my career as a digital economist and a fintech leader. He has inspired so many of us to aim higher and think bigger. Through his guidance, encouragement, and example, I've learned that leadership as it is about vision, integrity, and then service. So I mean, Mr. Hesse has done a lot for the ecosystem. I mean, a lot of people are saying so many good things about him, and he deserves that credit and that due honor that he's getting. So this is all for I think we left one thing out, the big thing out. So last week we had Demo Fridays, the 1 year edition. Sorry, our own event. We left it out. So we had a 1 year edition. It was a big one. I'll let you say something small. Since you were there, you demoed. Oh, this was the second time demoing. We have a video to play, so after this, we'll play the video also. But then just say something small outside of.
I would say that that one was, you could tell that we've matured. It went very smoothly. There were amazing demos there. When you were very strict on time. But yes, I was happy to be there after a year. I think I was there on the first edition. Right?
Yeah, on the
very first edition. Yeah. And then I demoed on the third, and then I demoed on the fifth. So I would say that it was good. It was good being back.
Great. Yeah, awesome. So we'll play the video here. You get to see how it felt like in the next 2 minutes, and also get to hear about people who were also there and how they also felt like.
You guys ready? Let's go, hands, yeah, let's get it poppin', I'm looking away. Go tell mother I'm cooking the game. Flow like water bubbling up, what you want me to make? Taking you back in the day, feeling immaculate, make action pack, back to back, while you yapping away. I go to net to react, but I'm packing the brace. Up to the max with a fact, let me grab the space. Go to man the place, with a law for face. Born strong alarm, looking like a stack full of hate. On and on, way to the back of the bank. This phenomenon's on, I don't even have to say. How below this stuff back in the...
Hi, my name is Anna Price. I'm the managing founder for Extended. I started following Building Bytes via LinkedIn, and then I heard about the first anniversary and the Demo Friday focus on AI. I didn't know what to expect, but honestly, blown away. Lots of great minds. I didn't know there was this much going on in the Ghana tech scene. I think it's really something to watch.
Okay, hello. My name is Vincent. I represent Cloud Plexo and an advanced AWS partner. We just came here to observe the event, and yes, of course, everything they said is true. They're able to support the startups, giving them the platform to be able to showcase their products. I think that is something that if they continue, it will really, really help the Ghanaian economy with people who are looking for audience and who are looking for investors.
Hi, my name is Olivia and I'm from Worklin. We are building an AI chat assistant. And fun fact, we actually demoed on the first ever building Bytes at Mester last year. So I'm very happy to be here for the 1 year anniversary.
Hello everyone, my name is Augustine. I'm the head of engineering at Haptel. The demos I saw today were fantastic. They are mind-boggling, and they are really bent on solving problems using tech. And I think we have to really empower and trust our youth and the rising generation to be able to do more for all of us.
Okay, so I'm Frank, feature coordinator with Haptel. And I mean, this program has been very amazing. I mean, I came with, let me say, very little expectation because I was like, okay, building Bytes, let me just come and check out what's going on. I came and like people have some crazy ideas. And what really stood out for me was a guy came to present something about USSD, building it just using simple maps. And I mean, that's just mad. Like, it's just amazing. So yeah, I've really had a very fun time here.
So incredible, still doing the low, never doing the minimal.
Welcome back from the quick commercial break. As we said, today we'll be discussing the topic, the state of software development in Ghana, basically, success so far over the years, the challenges and, looking to the future as well, how software development has contributed to the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem, and, the Ghana's economy as a whole, basically. So I have here with me two distinguished gentlemen, Stefan, and also Emile. Emile, sorry.
It's the same. Don't worry.
Emile. So Emile Bondzie-Arthur is a versatile software engineer and a data engineer with experience in backend development, ML ops, and product leadership. He currently works at Fido.
You forgot data engineering.
I mentioned that.
Okay.
The man doesn't joke with. So forget that.
Otherwise, my CTO will ask me, what are you doing?
So he's currently he currently works at Fido, building data infrastructure and leading innovation in fintech products. And also I have here Stefan Froelich, popularly known as the damn tech guy. He's an engineer at Spry, known for blending humility with innovation in tech leadership. Coming from a non-technical background, I think we talked a lot about that in our last interview with you. He's self-taught, self-learning, community building, and solving real-world problems. And he's fluent in a lot of languages. I think the last time we came, we talked about the language you spoke.
Both spoken and written.
Awesome. So we dive into the main discussion. Let's talk about why software development still matters, and why does it still matter for you personally as a software developer? I mean, what's your commitment to this?
Okay. So I'm going to talk about it in general terms rather than me specifically, because I can come. But why does software development why do software engineers still matter? I believe we are heading into a world of AI now, where there's a popular conception that AI is going to replace engineers. And if you've been on the timeline with me, you know that I'm one of those who's been saying that. And I say that mainly in relation to React engineers, but I say that in jest. Remember, it's social media, we troll each other, we have fun. But let's look at where development of software came from. How we write code for computers is just, let me call it an abstraction on the underlying infrastructure that we are working with. For a very long time, people used to punch cards. And then that evolved into some lower level languages. And then with time, we got higher level languages. We've got interpreted languages now. We've got so many different kinds of ways to program. But at the core of it has always been the need for that human operator. Right? However you tell the computer to do what you want it to do, you're going to need someone to actually do that telling. So the way we do that telling might change, where we move from punch cards to people writing assembly to actually now writing
Actually,
C#, Java, to now writing natural language,
Prompt
being able
engineering.
to talk. But the problem is that we can't fully replace the human being, because if you've done any AI stuff, like today I was doing work with AI and I said that do not commit any changes or updates, right? Or do not stage or commit any changes. With me, I meant that do not commit or stage any new changes, right? If any new changes are made, do not commit or stage them, because when I ask you to review my stage changes and it does any changes, it turns to stage them and I don't see the difference. What the AI said was, I will not make any new changes, right? That's natural language. You might intend one thing, but you are not able to go there. So we might be using AI to help us translate our ideas quicker, but we are still going to need people that actually check this to make sure that what you actually intend is what you build. Because again, programming is a rigorous exercise. You might be writing it loosely, but you need to make sure that everything is repeatable and the same things that what you expect when you put in an input for a setting, it should be deterministic is the word I'm using. But with natural language processing, it's not really deterministic, so you can't completely replace the human beings with just natural language stuff. Yes, AI tools have gotten really good, but they are here to help us, just like our IDs or before moved from Notepad to Notepad++ to using VS Code and whatever your choice is. It's just a way for us to get better as engineers. Right? So here we are going to be relevant. Software engineering is going to be relevant for a long time. Software engineers would continue to do that.
Awesome. So Emile, I just want to understand in this age where AI is evolving and getting closer to doing more of the work that engineers do, what do you think are the core pillars that an engineer needs to have to be able to stay relevant as time goes on?
there's only one thing: understand the basics.
Fulfill.
Stefan said we moved from, and I agree with it. We moved from assembly. We moved from the punching card to assembly. We moved from assembly to the third generation, which is the Python and the Fortran, and then now we have the natural language thing. If you look at everything, is you understanding the basics and how relevant it is to the problem you're solving, right? So if I understand the basics and I know that this is what I want, I tell this LLM to do what I want. I go through what it did, and once I'm able to accept that it did what I want, then I can deploy it. Right. If I don't understand what I'm doing, I can't tell it what to do. So I think as an engineer, what you should do is understand the basics. Let me digress a little bit. I studied physics, and if you read the whole physics laws and everything, all of it comes to the four laws, the Newton's four laws. Everything about motion comes to the Newton's law of motion, right? These laws are fundamental. So no matter the equation that you put up and everything, it should all end up to that law that Newton spoke of. Those four laws should be obeyed, right? What am I saying here? No matter the LLM that comes, everything that comes, as a software engineer, if you understand the basics so good and you know how to solve problems, there's a difference between coding and solving problems. There's a vast difference. It's not the same. It can be a script kiddie understanding programming language and everything, but you can't be an engineer with that mindset. So if you know how to solve the problems, if you know the basics, then you tell the LLMs what to do, and if they do it, you accept that what they did is right, and then you use it to solve the problem. So know the basics, and ye shall live long in this industry.
Awesome. So you want to come in?
Yes. I think that as he was talking, something came to mind, but I think AI is like the news. When you are not knowledgeable about a subject and you hear about it being reported on the news, it seems very accurate.
Exactly.
But once you have a modicum of expertise in that sector and you hear what you're saying, 90% of it, unfortunately, is usually nonsense.
Exactly.
It's the same way with AI. If you do not know what you're doing, because it speaks with such competence and confidence, you feel that what is coming out is correct, when it could be absolutely wrong. So he highlighted a key thing. LLMs are here to help us with coding.
Yeah.
But they do not replace the need for you to know what you are coding.
So let me give an example. Recently, I have not used GCP for a long time, and I've not used Apache Beam before, right? But I've done a lot of distributed systems where I understand messaging and queuing, how it works. So I go to GCP. GCP have something called PubSub. And because I understand messaging system, I know that in messaging they should have a topic and they should have a subscriber. And the subscriber should have the required permission to request to access that topic. So what do? I tell that GPT that I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, and test it with this so that you see it is working. And we had some fights. At some point, he was telling me confidently that I'm wrong, but I was like, "No, you do this one, just do it." And at the end of the day, it worked. And I said, "It's working." And he said, "Oh, it's working now. I apologize for whatever I did in the past." And I'm like, "Oh, let's continue." Like, this is the case where if I didn't understand the subjects that much, it would have said it's not possible, or it wouldn't have done what I wanted, and I would have failed. But this is me understanding the subject very much, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm just telling it to code that thing for me. Just code it. Then I'll read you that it's working afterwards. So that's it.
Yes, I want you mentioned around coding, and then what's the second one?
Solving problems.
If you can talk small about that. What?
Oh, so coding is basically like an American knowing how to speak English, but not understanding the language. Because I was born in America, I speak English. I was born in Britain, I speak English. But if you tell me to make, like, let's say write a speech to the Queen or the King or address people, I can't do it. Like, I know how to speak English, but I can't do that thing. Someone might know how to write a program language, a Python, a C# or everything. But tell them to solve a problem, like move data from A to B. They don't know even where to start from. Right? They can't even reason on their own. So that's the difference. One understands the syntax. They understand the syntax. They can tell you all the syntax. I've been there before, where I can tell I knew Python, I knew R, I knew Ruby, I knew C++. I knew the syntax. But if you tell me to solve a problem with it, I couldn't do anything. Right? Then I came to the point where currently my main stack is Python at work. But guess what? When the problem comes, I'm able to use Python to solve it. So Python cannot do the work for me. For example, I need it to run fast, and we know the limitations of Python. So I might be employed to use, let's say, Rust or Zig or C++. Then I have to go and read that language documentation and use it to solve the problem. After that, I'm done. Yeah. I'm not coming there again. I just need it to solve the current problem now. I'm done. I'm good. You understand the difference? Exactly.
Cool. Awesome. Just moving ahead. I want us to dwell a little bit on the problem bit. Do you think like the ecosystem, are there problem solvers in the ecosystem? Are we solving problems in the ecosystem as a general? Or what was your thoughts on that?
Okay. So I have this theory that getting to where you want to get to is a pipeline. You can't skip it. No shortcuts. When I got to in the industry, like probably more than half a decade ago, and I once had a conversation with Stefan. I don't know if you remember this. It was like here in Simo, down there. We went for is it a Deaf Congress event, and we came for beer here. And I asked him a question, and this was Stefan's answer. If I don't, like I might miss it, but this is it. He said, continue solving problems, and once you solve more problems, you get more experience, and you can leverage that later, right? Being a problem solver is solving more problems, right? We are in a culture where people think that if your boss has a job for someone, and every day your boss is coming to you, oh, you are too known. No, get your hands dirty. Get your hands dirty so much that when you have the experience, like the next time you go to see a problem, you're like, oh, I've fixed this problem, I've solved this problem before, and I'm able to complete it in a record time, right? The next time someone asks you something, you're like, oh, this will not work. Why? Oh, because of A, B, C, D, it will not work. It's simple like that. Yes. Right? And that comes from solving more problems. So let's come to our culture. In Fido, I always tell the engineers, solve more problems. They give you a ticket, you finish it. You ask for another ticket, you finish it. You ask for another ticket, you finish it. Before you realize you have a broader business context. Now, once you have the broader business context, guess what? You are now the star guy. And when you're the go-to guy, that is when you've reached. Yeah. Right. So, do we have more problem solvers? I'm not sure we do. But if the people are willing to solve more problems, then we'll get to the point where there are a lot of, I think, people who can hold other people's hands and make things better for us. So, and how do you solve problems? How do you get better at solving problems? Is solving more problems. No matter how small, they solve it. Like sometimes your code doesn't have to make it to the app store or anything, but solve it. Like when I transition, I used to be a data scientist, then I moved to data engineer, right? I became a backend engineer because I told someone to build a backend for me and they didn't do it. So guess what? I built my first to-do app, which was a to-do app, but it had a ticketing stuff. So I have a to-do that I raise it as a ticket, someone picks it up, and you pay them, right? It never made it to any store or any deployment. But once I built it, I understood JWT, I understood how backend migration works, I understood this, that. And today, if you do, I've built a lot of backend data services. We call it data services in Fido. Why? Because I solved those problems. Like sometimes I introduce new architecture to my team, and my team is like, "Which one is this one?" And I'm like, "Okay, this pattern is good because it helps the code do A, B, C." And they're like, "Okay." And when we adapt it, it makes our team velocity go faster. So what am I saying? Solve more problems. That to do app, do it. That news feed app, do it. That thing, do it. The more you do it, the more you gather more experience. The more you gather more experience, the more you're able to solve other problems.
Awesome.
I think that what he said actually would make me sort of redefine what the initial question, what he asked me the initial question about software engineers. I would say that, so if you look at my bio on Twitter, for example, it doesn't say software developer, it says problem solver, right? I solve problems. AI, languages, even interacting with people, how you communicate, your emails, everything. All of these are tools that we employ in our goal to solve problems for both businesses and individuals. So yes, problem solvers are very relevant. So I'll be replacing software engineer here with problem solver and say that problem solvers are very relevant. If you are simply a coder, sure, your job might be at stake because coding is quickly going out of fashion. Like where I have to actually sit down and code my solution is quickly going out of fashion. But if you're able to solve problems quickly, then the coding just becomes a way to get you there. But you asked the question which I want to answer, is do we have problem solvers in the country?
The long pauses.
It's a very difficult question to answer because if I'm going to look at how we're using software to solve problems, I'll be looking at business problems. Okay. And I'm not looking at just enterprise problems. I'm looking at small business problems. I'm looking at individual problems. Of course, consumer projects are difficult to build, so I'll not use that as a metric, mainly because we don't have a good VC ecosystem. And if you want to do consumer problems, you need VC money concept.
So your point is not, I don't know if you do it there, we are not solving problem because it's non-technical. The problem, the source of the problem is not a technical issue, but it's a different issue.
It doesn't matter what the problem is. So long as we can use tech to solve it, then we're going to need technical, software engineers who understand problem solving.
So let me give you an example. Goli Express, right? Yeah. So everyone is saying Goli Express now. Yes. It's not an ad for them. But if you look at the history, that guy started solving the problem
on the ground. He's been using Excel
for a
long time.
Tech was an enabler.
Yes.
And look at how fast he was able to ship.
Yes.
He knew the problem. He solved the problem. He knew the problem on the technical side. He was good at his job so much that I think he both put the mobile app and the backend together.
Just to clarify, because some people might not know, Goli Express allows you to, it's a drop ship.
You have to give them.
It's an importer. You buy from either Amazon, you send to them, and then they send it to you locally, right? We've met a few of these guys. And this guy has been doing it for years and not using a software. Like you reach out to him, he buys and comes to sell. So he understood the business part of it, and then used tech as a way to scale it, up his solution, right? Which is a perfect example. So for him like this, if he could have hired one engineer, he can use AI, whatever it is. But the problem that he's solving is an actual problem, which is getting goods to come.
Logistics.
I love it. Cool guy. He's solving a problem, but just using tech as an enabler. And then I think that we always forget that tech is just an enabler and not the solution. It's just a way for us to facilitate. So if I look around, we are not having a lot of these things. But in the last 6 months, a lot of them keep coming up. Why? Because the coding barrier is being reduced.
Exactly.
People are being required to write less and less code. So now more people are applying themselves to actually solving problems. But I would say that let me give it a few more months. Let's see where where we are progressing. But right now, our problem solvers are not that many. We have a lot of software engineers, we have a lot of businesses, but in terms of problem solving in general, I would say that we are not that many.
Added to what Stefan said, I think also the problem solving mindset comes from the institutions that we school at. I always say my greatest gift is my first boss, and I think my first two bosses, Godwin Abame and Fred Frimpong. When they give you something, when they give you a problem, they don't just feed you with the answers. No,
Google is not for monkeys.
They don't even give you.
That was my first.
They don't even give you like. They're like, okay, this is what we have. Go and figure it out and bring me something.
Yeah.
If you don't understand, call me, and I'll give you more context, right? And I think that helped me crack my head on understanding a lot of things. Sometimes you have to go and talk to customer service. Sometimes you have to go and talk to support. You have to go and talk to this one. Then you gather all the facts and you're like, okay, so now this is the problem. This is the context. How do I solve it? Right. I came from an institution where to employ, right? That kind of thing. But I was lucky to work with these people that taught me how to solve problems. So as I said, I think the problem is we are not taught to solve problems enough. And if you're lucky and you find yourself in an institution where you have good bosses if you are lucky to have good bosses like myself, you have to also strive to get their attention. Sometimes you can go to a tweet or go to Stefan and tell him, oh, this, can you help me with it, right? And he might be able to help, right? So I think, yes, we have that barrier. But for the new guys who are coming in, I think you have to make it a conscious effort to bother people to help you know how to solve problems and be good at it.
Yeah.
Else, there's the few years that Stefan is giving it, nothing will happen. We'll still be in the same show.
Awesome. So I just wanted us to do a quick recap, step back a little bit, look at how we have evolved from, the days of companies like SoftTribe and, SMSGH as Helptel.
We used to solve more problems.
No,
honestly, I'm gonna say that we solved more problems when we had less techies and the ecosystem was more difficult than we do now. Now we are more concentrated in big businesses, so like Helptel, Achieve, Fido. These are big businesses that are established. But we had days when we had people like Rule building Empower payments.
Yeah.
Mobile money payments before there was a mobile money API.
Yeah.
Right?
That's innovation.
Right. And even Kanimari, we spoke about him trying to solve the ECG problem
before.
when there was no network. Yeah. So when I also, and that's why I stay in Ghana. Like most people might ask me, I stay here because where there's problems, there's opportunities. And when we had more problems, we had more solvers. But we are moving towards where more people are looking for jobs. And I understand why. We need to put food on the table. But now we have more people looking for jobs than actually trying to solve the problems. And that's what I meant by we don't really have a lot of problem solvers now like we did before. Of course, in individual companies, you're going to get problems. Yes, that's not what I'm referring to.
So, I think there's a. I was reading somewhere and it mentioned how information scarcity make people find solutions. Oh yeah. Those days, information was scarce. To become even a developer,
yes,
you have to go and buy a book or ship a CD. To get a computer, Pentium 3, Pentium 4, or Pentium L. That means your parents have to be rich. To get internet in your house, dial-up, Vodafone. No, it was not Vodafone. Ghana Telecom. It was impossible. Like, you have to come from a rich family.
Yeah.
So, people try to solve problems based on the limited infrastructure that they have.
Necessity.
Today, we have a lot of infrastructure. So when the problem comes, we're like, oh, Excel sheet. I'll do the same Excel sheet over and over again, and I'm done. I don't care. Even in our organizations, let's take our organization for example. I was speaking of back office area. Everyone starts with back office, and you go to a big company, even big banks, then back office is like 10, 15 years old, and they are still using Excel sheets. No one has asked to solve the problem for them because they are comfortable in that problem that they have.
It works.
It works for them. They are not enabling with technology. That's the same thing we find ourselves here. The fact that we have a lot of information overload, that the young ones are thinking about like the shiny text. I know React,
Next.js.
I know Next.js, I know these things. And they're not using it to solve problems.
No.
It's kind of scary, right? I started a startup once and it failed. I learned my lesson.
What did you do?
Oh, that's a story for another day. It's failed. I learned my lesson. But I always say that if I'm to get more money in the bank, of course, I'll go back to solving those problems, right? Okay, I'm solving problems in my organization where I work at. Sorry,
Yeah.
right. So, as I said, the problem is that we have a lot of information overload. There's a lot of confusion happening between the youngsters, and they are chasing a lot of shiny technologies instead of solving the problems that are.
And the merchants of complexity keep shipping reasons for them to not solve problems, but rather focus. So,
by the way, microservice is still the best.
as developers, I think that one thing that we know is that our comfort zone is cool. So when we have young people learning and then they start learning the tech, they want to, and I fell for this, right? I think sometimes when you grow, you realize the things that the mistakes you made, and you try to tell people, and they think that maybe you are what do they call those people now? You're a boomer. But so we are in an era where complexity is being shipped a lot. Now people build their apps and they don't even build their own auth. You go bring some Auth0 or some Click or something. You build your system and you're serving 5 people and you have microservices. Like,
come on, that's me.
Yeah, I got you. It's all about complexity now, and it's interesting for someone who is learning to code to build complex things. Because the more you build complex things, the more you feel like you are the ish, right? I remember when I was using ReSharper and I wrote code, very clear, clean code. And I used ReSharper on it. And what ReSharper does is it tries to rewrite it in a better way. And we wrote it in this convoluted way that even I did not understand. And I was like, yeah, like that shows that skill, right? But with time, you come to realize that no, I only want to solve this problem. I want to solve it as easily and as quickly as possible without spending so much time or building such complicated systems in order to solve a small problem. But it's very easy for us to get locked into this thing and then keep learning, rather than take a step back and say, okay, I've done some learning. I don't need to use Next.js with Vercel or whatever it is. I can simply do a Node.js application that serves that single API that I want, and it works, right? But I think it takes time and experience to get there. And if you are learning on your own, it can get difficult.
Okay.
But if you're exposed to other people as well, it tends to.
So I think that would have been my next question. You know, what role does leadership play in all this? To, mentoring people, guiding people to be problem solvers. Is the leadership in the ecosystem rising up to the challenge?
Are the learners rising up to the
Exactly. That was what I was about
because
to
me, I'll be doing my own thing, right? But I make myself available when possible. I'm not gonna lie, there are messages I miss, there are people I don't reply to, but I'm not the only one. But I personally, I do well by imitating. I think I've said this before. I look at what someone else has done and like, oh, this. So I tend to like to maybe make an implementation, look at someone's implementation, see where my mistakes were, and then learn from that. But if you want to learn and you expect me to come and teach you, it's not going to happen. Even if you're in the same organization with your boss, right? I have some people under me who I have to constantly hit them and say, guy, reach out to me with problems. Because I'm going to give you a very high level explanation of what it is so that you do some discovery. And as you come back to me and then we fine tune. Because again, I'm working on 15 other things, right? So we need self-starters and then we need people who want to do it on their own, but you have to reach out and ask for help. You have to reach out and look at what exists to learn from it. But if you're expecting that the mentors come to you, it's not going to happen. You have to reach out. And then you have to actively follow. Anybody who's come to me for me to mentor. And it's funny, I tend to have only one quote-unquote mentee at a time. Because I might have 5 or 4 different people telling me they are interested. And I have a way of doing things where I throw you off the edge. I just give you something and I watch
one guy, not to say, one guy came to me that you wanted you to mentor him, and he said he should go and learn Ruby.
Yes.
And he didn't come back.
Yes, and if you don't come back, it tells me that you are not willing to put in the work. I have somebody I'm working with, who I'm mentoring, and he goes into plutonium code. Plutonium is a framework. He goes in. He's figured out the internals.
Yeah, he did.
He knows how plutonium works just as much as I do. Right? Who do you think I'm going to spend time mentoring? Because he is spending effort to learn. He comes to me. I did this. He comes. He writes. He does PRs for me and says, I'm submitting this. And eventually I hired him to work with me. But if I test you and say, go learn Ruby, and you don't go learn and come to me, that was a good reader. So that's how I actually filter people now. Yeah. I intentionally give you something and see whether you follow.
Mine is Harvard CS50.
but that's the whole thing. If you don't want to put in the work, I'm not going to waste my time. Because again, I've done this for a long time. I have mentored hundreds of people. I have trained people who are very, very top trained, who earn way more than me, 3-4 times my earnings, and they are out there. And some of them you don't even know about. But and the reason why my mentees are successful is because they put in the work. So I always tell people that don't think that I am the one who is that good. I'm just lucky or good at sussing out people who want to put in the work. So when the person associates themselves with me and then they do 1, 2, 3, you think that it's me. No. My own was just maybe the guy needed a job. I opened the door for him because I realized that this guy will put in the work. And then I put him where he needs to get his first job. And once he gets that job, they do it themselves. My mentees do it themselves. I don't go around getting them jobs opening. No, after usually getting the first opportunity, most of them just go through. So you need to reach out and you need to put in the work. I'm not going to waste my time if you are not going to put in the work.
What's the question again? Because I want to be sure before I say what I want.
Yeah, so, I mean, the question was, what's the role of leadership, in helping people rise up to the challenge of solving problems? And also, I want to add this question: are there enough, experienced leaders in the ecosystem that are doing this or help do this? If you want to tackle it.
So, who knows Dr. Ola Brown? He's on Twitter. She's I think investor, finance lady or something.
Nigerian.
Yes. The first time I heard from her was that you can follow people for mentorship in 3 ways. The first one is looking from afar. The second one is knowing them personally. And the third one is bothering them once in a while. So looking from afar. Before I met Stefan, and before I got to know Adam, or before I entered Adam's DM, whatever they say, I'll go and read about it. Whatever they do, I'll take some bits of it, right? That was when I was transitioning to engineering. That time I was in product, right? And I'll go and learn the study about it. They'll talk about microservice, this thing, event-driven architecture. I'm like, hey, which one is this one to? And I'll go and read about it. Okay. Now, this was me from afar. Way before I got to know Stefan, right? Because I think in the 2018s, Twitter was a buzz, and these guys were the kings of Twitter in those days, to say without that, right?
Was it?
So you look at them from afar, right? Good. Now I relocate to Accra in 18, and I get to attend these events, and I get to know these people, right? So that is it. Okay. That is from afar. Once in a while, if you bother them, it's cool. What do I mean by bother them? Once in a while, you have this problem. Oh, Stefan. Hello, Stefan. I have this problem. I've researched A, B, C, D. I didn't get the solution. Can we help?
Yeah.
I can bet you that if Stefan is going to be DM and he sees that message, he'll reply. Maybe it's not even his thinking. Because there's an ego thing with software developers where we want to tell you that we help you solve the problem. So once I see that you brought the problem to me, I'm like, yo, I can tell him that I know my thing. Right? It's a reaction. I've seen that before. And this is how I got to know some people that I had mentored in the past. Like, this guy kept bothering me. Like, he brings this problem. He told me I've said this part, I didn't get to find it. And he brings, and I was like, okay. Then I'll start, okay. Do this. Then I'll send the whole code to him on Twitter message. I'll send the whole code to him. And he tests it and he's like, oh, it worked. I'm like, good. So the first time it's saying, the second time the same, the third time. After 2 weeks, I didn't hear from him. Then one time I was bored doing something. I just texted him, hey, what's up? What are you working on now? This guy was coming to me. Now I'm asking him, what are you working on now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is the next way how you approach people.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. To me, when people come to me, I always tell them, go and watch Harvard CS50. And I can tell you, when you take 10 people, only 1 returns. And in that one, if God is not in by 3-4 weeks, we are off. Right. So that is the next step. Then the last step, I think, is organizations, where your organization is forcing you to mentor people in organizations. I have been lucky to mentor some people in Fido. But even with that one, you have to somehow press people's neck before they do. Like you have to, for example, Stefan is saying that I have to tell you that if you have any problem, come back to me. The question is, when you have any problem, why don't you come?
Why don't you come?
Right. So sometimes it's, do we have more seniors too? There are more seniors. I can talk of Stefan, Edem, Yao, Jewa, Gibbs, what is it? Griffith. I can talk about Nana Menu. I can talk about that. There are a bunch of them. But it's how you approach them. You don't approach them going to say, I want you to mentor me. No, I will have me. I don't have that time.
What does that even mean?
What does that even mean? But if I come to you that I have this problem, I've tried to solve it, I couldn't solve it. I've done all my research. There's nothing that shows that I don't understand what I'm getting on the internet. Can you help me do it?
Yeah.
My ego, it's like I've taken Red Bull. Like, all of a sudden, my eyes are popping out. Like, I want to solve it. Right. Like, one last time, I happened to solve a problem for someone who apparently it was an interview question. I never knew it was an interview question. The person came to tell me, you got a job. I'm like, hey. And he mentioned the salary to me. I'm like, yo, like, I did that for
I need a share.
Right. But I didn't know it was because this person has been bringing me problems to solve for him. So at the time about the problem, I'm like, okay, this is that's it. So are they seniors? Yes, they are not much. They are few there. But those few, if you could approach them and put effort in it. I once was listening to Chima talking about how he and Stefan used to work. And I was telling how Stefan was pressing his neck. And if Samite was saying that thing, you press your neck and leave you go and figure things out and you come back. Guess what? They knew what they wanted. They put in the effort. And today they're having the results.
Yeah.
You after you not putting the effort and you want to take $10,000 continue.
Awesome.
Right. So there are some. They are not much. There are some, right? But that few, if you approach them and put the effort, it's the effort.
Now in this effort thing, I want to add something. There's a site called nohello.net. But basically, just like any messaging, don't go into someone's DM and say hello and leave it at that. I see a lot of them, I ignore them. I don't know you. I'm not going to come say hello, hi, then, oh, how are you? I'm fine. Do you understand?
Go straight to the point.
It's messaging. It's an asynchronous messaging platform. Learn communication. When we say learn communication, it's just the same way we do it in offices. Send me everything you need me to do, or you want to ask me. As you said, oh, this is my problem, this. I come back, I look at it, I know whether I can help you, I can't help you, whatever it is, I have full context. And then if we're going to pick an engagement from there, sometimes I'll give you my WhatsApp and say, hey, reach out to me on WhatsApp, let's continue. Because maybe I want to do quick conversations with you, I don't want to do Twitter, right? Because my messages, I tend to lose them. So if I don't go back and look through, I'll lose. So send me a quick message, let's do. But I need to have the full context of why you are reaching out to me, so that I even know if it's worth doing. Like if you come with me and you say hello, it's just like me asking you to go and learn Ruby and you don't come. You're not worth the time. I'm being honest. And I'm not the only one who approaches things like this. Most people don't. Because time is limited and time is scarce. And I'm giving you my time for free. So at least respect it.
So let me give you young ones an approach to, it works for me, okay? And I tell juniors at my office, or mid-levels at my office that come to me, I tell them that before you come to me, there's a 3 thing you have to do. Problem,
Attempted solution
or context, and the result you're expecting. It helps me think sharp, right? So what is the problem? Oh, Emile, I'm trying to move data from Snowflake to, let's say, S3. It's not working. What have you done? Oh, I've looked at the code which exports the data. I've looked at IAM permissions. I've looked at probably the file format that I'm doing it. Okay, what do you expect at the end of the day? I expect that the file goes as CSV to S3. You see how everyone understands this thing? It's easy for me to get it. It's easy for me to attend to it because I know that you've checked A, B, C boxes. So I'll not spend my time going there. Assuming I want to learn from Stefan. Hi, Stefan. I want to learn software engineering. I've been doing Ruby for 2 years now. I've been learning Ruby for the last 6 months. And I've been working on this project ABC. Can you kindly review for me?
Sure.
It's just a review and I'll be glad to. If you have any other project, you can ping me and I will be glad to help as a junior developer. Come on, Stefan.
You reply.
Stefan will reply. No, Stefan is solving a lot of problems. He needs people to help him. Stefan will reply. Add your GitHub link. You even click on that GitHub link.
That's true. Though.
Right.
I need a
And
lot.
look at how I framed it. Like, I've been learning Ruby for the last 6 years. Here's some projects I've worked on. ABC. Keep it simple. Add the links to your project. Tell him that he should review for you, give you his feedback. And if he has any project you are willing to learn.
Yeah.
I don't think I will bounce you up on this one.
See, this thing is not even just a mentor thing. It's life.
Yeah.
Some people will say that, when I was struggling, nobody minded me. Yes. People want to see the effort put. You are putting the effort, you are doing the work, and you are beginning to show some rewards. And now people are like, oh, okay, I want to support this guy, or I want to be a part of that story. Nobody cares about a loser. It's just life. Right?
Deal with it.
So, like he said, I have been doing, it means I've put in effort. I have done something. He's trying. Then I know that, okay, this is someone who is actually putting in effort and needs a push versus someone who just sits. Like we have people who just sit and say, I want to do this. If you want to do. Until I see something, most people will not even come.
Hello, Stefan. I want to learn programming. Can you help me?
Yes.
How do I help you?
What have you tried?
Oh, hello, y'all. I want to learn products. Can you help me? How do I help you? Go learn about the basis of product management. What's product management? Okay, product people solve problem ABC. Okay, how do they do? They have something called PRD. Okay, PRD is what? Problem, statement, solution, market taste, all those product BS. Okay, I'm done with products now. Sorry, product people. But you get all those things right. They come to, oh, yeah, I'm into product management. I'm a beginner. I wrote a PRD to solve this problem. Can you look at it for me? Yeah, well, see, if that evening I'm sleeping, I'll jump and do it for you. Because there's, as I said, it's human, this thing. Human, I don't know, is it psychology? Is that what they call it? Like, I want to, because I solve problems and because I want people to know that I'm good at what I do, I will jump and help you. Even if I don't remember now, right? I'll put it in my calendar somewhere, look at it later on my lunchtime, and just help you do it. So that's how we should do it.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to touch a little bit on what community plays in here. You know, you in organization like the Congress, just, for like a minute or two, what do you think these community create? I think, let me start with you, Emile. You talked about moving to Accra, and attending these events. Talk about one of the events you attended, how, it's...
So the first time I got to them, I was a product manager, I attended event at East Level, where my job was my title was a business and systems analyst, but I was negotiating contract. I was telling engineers to build feature A, feature B. I was doing UAT. I was testing it myself. Then I went to this East Legon event. I don't remember the event, but I went to this East Legon event and someone said, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah." I said, "Joshua, yeah."
Was that a mess or you don't?
No, it's not messed. It was done by this guy, the guy from Snap. He used to work at Snap. I don't think he still works at Snap. Joe Darkum.
Yeah.
Oh. Good. Joe Darkum came to Ghana and did an event like that. Like some products. Good, kudos to him. So he did that event, and I go to some guy say, "Joshua, I'm a product manager." I'm like, "What does product manager do?" And it's like, "I do A, B, C." I'm like, isn't this my job? So I go back and I'm like, "Oh." So now I'm a product. And before that time, we had a chief product. We had a product manager in Ghana. I was a business assistant analyst supporting him. We had a chief product in, I think, US, head of product like in US, and she also was. I think she left some time. So I'm like, "Oh, I've bought Vodafone customers to Fido product. I've done this. I've built Fido USSD. I've built Fido IVR. I've done UAT. I've spoken with Vodafone. I've spoken with MTN. I've spoken with IT. And she said, "No, you're a product manager." Like that kind of thing, right? And guess what? The next time I got to know I was a good engineer was Dev Congress. There was a problem someone was thinking about, like, this program I saw me 2 years ago. Hey, I've read like that. And this is like some guy who is seriously talking with other good people who are like thinking about it. And I've already solved this problem. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm good at this. Confidence. Right? It is what it is. So this is what Dev Congress and all these communities have done to me. Sometimes it's not about me even interacting with the big guys. So it's me listening to the problem they're solving, and I compare it to the things I've done. I'm like, okay, I've reached somewhere. I've done something, right? So this to me, this is what the community have done to me. Has done for me particularly. So it's me getting to these communities, interacting with people, and getting to know that, okay, I have done something I should be proud of, and these things are teachable to other people. I've been to and this is the whole purpose of Fido DevX, right? Where we bring developers together, we tell them what we are doing in-house, and even organizations where they learn from it and they go also do those things in the organization, right? For example, we tell you are doing ML, machine learning modeling, or machine learning operation. Okay, how are you doing machine learning operation? Then we tell you, okay, we use SageMaker. The SageMaker is giving us code stack, which is longer time to run. We just wrap it the application, the fast API application, and have this thing that runs ML models for the data engineers, and they put it in this S3 bucket, and the application just fetches it and caches it. And if it expires, you go to the Kubernetes plane, you just tweak something to expire, then it has to fetch some new weight and update it and use this new weight. You see how I'm telling you all these things? If you're new to it, you're like, okay, now I know the best practice starts from, and it's easy right for you. This is what the communities do for you. They make your life easier. So that's what communities have done for me.
So Stefan, I want you to take to another question. So a little bit about remote work. You yourself did Andela. You worked at Andela. How did it impact your career? And in this current state, how is it impacting the ecosystem? Is it making people think I need more money because they're paying other people in dollars? So let's talk about your experience at Andela and how it helped you in your career for a start.
Okay, so before that, I would say that the community does two things, which is exposure. Well, one thing, exposure. And exposure in two ways. Exposure to knowledge, like Emile did, and exposure as an individual. So if I know Emile right now and I'm looking for someone, if someone comes and says, I'm looking for someone who understands credit and can do ML work for me, I know exactly who to mention. So it's exposure to both knowledge and as well as a person being put out there, exposed. Andela, I got through exposure. I got Andela because I joined the Dev Congress community. I started speaking. I put myself out there. I got engaged in the community, and people got to know who I was. So when the opportunities came out, they reached out to me because someone recommended and said, I know this guy. So that's the kind of exposure I'm talking about. So when I started Andela, I'm not going to lie, Andela was an eye-opener because it was called Epic Towers, which was the office then in Lagos. When you get into Epic Towers, it's a whole community of brilliant fuckers. You know what I mean? Like, everybody here is brilliant.
They know their shit.
Everybody here is brilliant. Like, it's awe-inspiring. You are not the only brilliant person now. You are now in the middle of hundreds of brilliant people, and you are talking, and everything feels so good. So Andela to me was breaking the glass ceiling, letting me understand that indeed there are no limits to what you can do. Right? I choose to stay, but after Andela, I could have done whatever I wanted because it exposed us to the world. It exposed how we could get a job. It exposed how we could train. But Andela for me is basically showing me that you can make a lot of money in this industry, and you are not limited to your local space, basically. With that,
Awesome.
Continue that track.
Yeah. So I asked you, how is it, this exposure of local talents to foreign work, remote work, how is it affecting the ecosystem? You in leadership, how is it affecting hiring?
You hire people.
Is it making the ecosystem more competitive for people finding jobs? Is it bringing more, top level talent? How is it affecting the ecosystem?
Yeah, Andela doesn't exist in the same form it did anymore, right? Yeah. And I think that there are others trying to take their place. But in general, I don't have a problem with hiring. I don't. I don't know about other people. I generally don't.
You give them a lot of money?
No. I work with very small teams.
Okay.
I tend to prefer working with small teams. The only problem that I'll say is, and it's not even an issue, but as people mature, they leave. I think that it's the expected pipeline.
Exactly.
Right? It is the expected pipeline. So we just have to keep the pipeline going where we keep creating newer, younger engineers and then letting them do some work locally. It's like national service. National service is you paying back the nation for the money that they spent on you. So it's like you train or help mentor somebody, they come in, they have to do some work. But eventually, they are going to go somewhere else. Even if not outside the country, they're going to go to another organization locally where maybe for more money, maybe for a different challenge because they're tired of the problems that they solve. So I think that what Andela did was, or organizations like Andela did, was to let us know that we could do more. Because before companies like Andela, being a dev in this country was like a death sentence. You're either doing it for fun or you were working for a bank.
Yeah.
Or for Subtribe. If you were not doing one of these big ITC, whatever, you could basically not make a living as an engineer here. So it was either you build your own products or you work for a big established company. So Andela showed us that we could do it. And Andela did one important thing, is that it made the West realize that African talents are, if not even better, are just as good as foreign talent and come at a slightly discount rate. And we have to remember that people hire us for the discount.
Yeah.
Don't be too cheap, but you can't be too expensive.
That's it.
If you're too expensive, why wouldn't they just hire a US-based person? You have to understand this. You're living in Ghana, you are going to earn a little less or even way less than someone in the US. It's part of what happens. But by exposing Africa to the world, it allowed us, because we wouldn't be having this conversation now if there was no community, dev community locally. That was inspired by the fact that you could do all this work. So Andela did a lot of good things for our community.
Awesome. You have any question? Okay. I want us to move into government policies and how they are affecting the ecosystem. Stuff like we recently have the minister announced the 1 million coders. What's your impression, Emile? What's your impression? How would they contribute to the ecosystem? Is there any advice you give to the minister?
1 million coders is a good idea, but if I had someone like Stefan, the Adams, the Bubus, I'm not gatekeeping, but if you had those people who have actually trained people to be good software engineers, that would be like an excellent idea.
Yeah,
I don't think they contacted him or
they opened an application. You didn't apply.
So
an application?
Yeah, for trainers or something.
No. The organization reaching out.
No, let me give you an example.
Please go ahead.
I was a lecturer at Crystal Academy for last 2 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because Derek reached out to me. Derek was like, hey, Emile, we are doing this data engineering thing, and I think you have the experience. Can you help us mentor students? And I didn't go looking for it. I'm already my job there. I have a lot of things on my plate. I didn't go. After that, then I thought that I have to give back to the community. So there's another program that's ongoing on. I think it's First Man, and I still give some weekends for them. Right. This is a first initiative. I think they should first of all map out all the people, all the relevant stakeholders, those who have experience in mentoring people. Then they would what? They would bring something out. I think one of the things that it happened last year. Like they were doing an AI, the national AI something, and I knew some people that they contacted. I think it was later at a coffee or something about the AI framework or something.
They were building a policy
and
for
I knew that
AI.
they brought in industry experts. This is what the 1 million coders should have done. Those, not anyone in tech, someone in tech that has trained people.
What's experience?
I have like, okay, who have you trained? I can mention 4 or 5 names of people I've trained. Then they can come up with a curriculum for this student, right? Or for these people. And they can set talent pipelines. Like this was the name, what's the name? ALX, where you have mentors, or Udacity, where you have mentors, and mentors can come in weekend like a town hall meeting and just. So, is it a good idea? Yes, but will it achieve its purpose? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, I think that it's a political message. It's a campaign message that someone wants to fulfill. In terms of the execution, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But for example, at Dev Congress, for a long time, we've been discussing a program called Top Rank. And the idea of Top Rank is to train people and get them out there. But you see, it's not just about training coders. The pipeline needs to be set up. So one of the critical things we're thinking about is all of us in Dev Congress who work in orgs, make our orgs available for internship and what do they call that other one? It's like internship, but attachment programs for developers, because you can't just train people and let them be. There needs to be a whole pipeline set up. 1 million is a lot.
It's a lot.
Bro, it's a lot.
I don't know the timeline.
Also mentioned it's just the name of the.
I know it's just a name, but it's a lot, and we know it's a political thing. But if they want to do this right, there has to be collaboration with the communities and the existing organizations. If they try to do this on their own, it will end up being as usual.
I think from the last time the minister spoke on it, they weren't really clear on the end goal.
Yeah.
So after training them, what happens?
Yes.
There wasn't
And that's
pretty
what
clear.
needs to be
Yeah,
done.
that's like
and
the
these
most
things need
important.
money, because if I'm going to do attachment programs, maybe my company doesn't want to hire, but if the government is willing to pay that person's salary, the company might be willing to say, okay, I'll let my engineers help mentor these people, right? And that's the company spending money on it without actually spending money, because time of the engineers is money. So if there's money to do this, the whole pipeline needs to be set up from training. Training is really basic. When you do initial training, you need to go straight into industry and do an attachment in the industry. And that's when you actually learn, because that's when you solve the actual problems and you see the difference between the theory versus the practical.
And I think if it's even effective, like the government has a ton of problems they can solve with tech.
Yes.
So assuming that you partner with this community, these communities people can have, like, let's say the product community, right? The product community can say, okay, we have this list of government problems. Let's put these people into silos and they solve it. Then you have one senior there, one company there that is giving a senior out there that, okay, twice every week you can go help it. And the government is just giving the company them some good publicity. Sometimes these companies, they need that they need the minister's input to just go to an investor and say, oh, the country even recognize our efforts, we are giving back tech, so you can give me more money, right? These are things that the government can add to it and make it work. But as I said, there's no industry person, there's nothing registered on this portal. I saw the HTML, CSS, I'm not saying HTML is bad, CSS is bad. They are the foundation, you have to learn it. But I'm saying that have a curriculum, have a guideline, know what you have to do. For example, you have track path for these people, you have track path for these people. These are the mentors in line. After that, straight to solving problems. Then these people come to appreciate it, and after that, they can export them out there. India is India because a lot of companies set their apps there, and the people that come out of the talent pipeline are solving problems. That's what makes India India.
Awesome. So as you're wrapping up, how is the industry changing? Put AI aside, how is the industry changing in total? Is there any things that we are missing in the industry that we need to have in the industry?
I would say that the last few years, a lot of the early pioneers, because we are pioneers in Ghanaian tech, that's the fact. We got in when it was very early. The early pioneers are maturing, they've learned lessons, they're beginning to build products. For example, Achieve is the brainchild of someone that I worked with when I started Petra. We both started Petra. She was a product person, Josefa. She was learning. She learned product with as well as we learned engineering as well. So with time, people are maturing and now they are growing into places where they are able to build bigger and more mature products. And I think that indeed, whilst we might not have as many products that I would want, we are beginning to see more of those come up. So our industry is maturing. It's becoming a proper industry rather than just a cowboy industry like it used to be. So there's a lot coming up. I'm excited for the next few months, actually. It's not years anymore. Years. Things are moving in months. So we'll see how that.
Okay. Emile, what do you think? Is there anything you think is missing in the industry we need to have?
As someone who's been looking for talent recently, I think this is something I would say. You get to meet people who tell you they have 2-3 years experience, 4 years experience, and they can't solve any problem. I always say, even when I give you a test today, I'm not looking at the test, I'm looking at how you're thinking of solving the test. I hardly look at the test solution. To me, I'm asking you, how are you solving the problem? That's what me and my colleagues are doing. I don't even care about your solution. I care about how you're solving the problem. Do you understand the edge cases? Do you understand the sacrifices you are making? Right? For example, are you sacrificing A for B? Why are you doing that? Do you understand the problem enough to go on this path? And you go on this path, do you understand that path you're going? And based on that, I would say that certain specialized skills, I don't think people are paying attention to it. And I don't think people are having the time to understand the basics. Data engineering is software engineering, and I'll be particular on data. Data engineering is software engineering. The last 2 hires we made for software data engineers were not data engineers. They're actually software engineers who we turn them to data engineers.
Yes.
One was a backend, one was a DevOps. Why? Because when we went through the process, we saw that no, these people can learn and they understand the foundation, so we can bend them to the spot. But apparently, the data engineers that they said they were industry that they came to the process, they couldn't solve the data engineering problems. Like you ask them, and they were tools like Spark, like this. Like I was hearing tools. I'm like, no, it's not about the tools. It's about understanding where you want to go to. Why are you going on this path? So is it exciting? Yes. But some specialized skills or some specialized fields are not getting the people there. And
Do you
the
think it's
people that are
because
coming in are
those
not spending
fields are
time-
new and they are evolving?
They're evolving fast. I'll not lie to you. Today you have to A, tomorrow you have to B. Tomorrow you have to C. Like yesterday I was reading something. I learned Polaris, Rust-based something, which is faster, can spin up multiple threads because Python doesn't do the job. And I was, hey,
Who cares?
Exactly. Does it solve the problem? Right. Are you solving the problem? I'll use it when I need that processing speed to do my job.
Yeah.
So I'm about to exploit because we have one of our processes that is taking 3 hours to finish, and no one wants to touch it. But of course, I'm the guy who likes to touch things that no one wants to touch. I'll explore it. Right. That is it. I'm using it to solve that problem. Right. So is it exciting in the next few years or few months? Yes. But I think certain specialized skills might have a problem. Right. Today we have DevOps metamorphosing to platform. And the platform, you have to learn a bunch of things. Even they are doing a bunch of things behind the scenes, right? So I like that the juniors, they don't want to go and look at, okay, what's the difference between A and B? And if there's a gap that I need to fill, I fill it and make myself relevant for it. If that is the case, then it's exciting. But if they are not seeing these things and they are not seeing these gaps and they are still there and doing the old things that you're doing over and over again and you're not solving more problems, forget it. We'll still be in the soup, and we'll still come back to this conversation that there's no talent in Ghana, there's blah, 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 there's blah, blah, blah.
That's awesome. So your final words, before we get to the lightning rounds, what's your final words?
I'm gonna say that it's an exciting time, especially if you're a builder. Don't be scared if you're a React engineer.
Yes, right.
Don't be worried. Just embrace the exponentials. Leverage the tools that are available and be a good engineer. Remember, we shouldn't be afraid of the tools. It's only old people who are afraid when new things come out. And those old people are people who can learn new things. So I'm always scared. It's kids only. So I don't know why you are 20 something who are afraid of learning. Let's get good at this. Let's build. Let's find problems that are worth solving so that we can make a lot of money. So yeah, that's it.
Emile?
Continue building.
Okay.
Don't stop. Continue. I used to tell this to to everyone that joins Fido in the engineering team. It's simple. When you stop learning, you start dying.
Yeah.
It's simple. This software industry, like I said, accounting has not changed for a long time. The gap 5 and another gap will come in like 10 years now. The next thing is that we'll find another gap 6 or gap 7, right? Or gap 9 or wherever I can't remember. But in software engineering, as Stefan said earlier, the complexities keep changing. More complexities are added to it. More things are added to it. What can you do to catch up? Keep learning.
Yes, sir.
And how do you keep learning? By solving problems. If you don't solve problems, you don't learn.
How do you solve problems? By building.
Exactly. Today you've heard about Redis, right? You are building a system probably that has a high load. Maybe you've heard that people cache things. So maybe if you have people come into your product a lot of times and you cache it and you see how performance is, you're like, oh, can I know Redis? Right? But I don't go and read the Redis documentation. Do what you do and don't tell us you know Redis. But when I tell you how do you flash it, you're like, and no. But if you solve problem enough and you hit those problems and you find solutions to it, then you can come to that table where you say, okay, I know my thing. And if I come for the interview, I ask you the question, you're like, okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. We do a quick lightning round. Just 1 second. Types of spaces.
Spaces.
VS Code or something else.
VS Code takes too much RAM.
So something else. Okay, so Ghanaian dish used to debug at midnight.
Ghanaian dish.
Yeah, when you're debugging at midnight. So Ghanaian dish you would prefer.
Oh. I don't know, some banku or something.
At midnight.
That's only Ghanaian fish gonna eat in the evening.
Okay, first programming language you ever wrote a bug in?
Fortran.
Fortran. A tech tool you can't live without.
Right now, my laptop.
Okay. Maybe laptop is a hardware, maybe a software.
Software. My ID, it doesn't matter which is.
Okay. Okay, sure. One startup.
Postgres. No.
Postgres.
Ask that question again. Let's go.
A tech tool you cannot live without.
Postgres.
Okay. Local dev community or quit solo building. Something.
No,
What fuels you the more? Local dev community or quiet solo building?
Oh, I'm the quiet type. I have no the quiet.
Okay.
I'll make noise out there.
One startup in Ghana, not your own, that you secretly admire.
Oh, one startup that I secretly admire.
You don't want to give it out.
No, it's not that. These are things I haven't really talked about.
Okay.
Oh, you don't see a company that's like, oh, these people are doing great. I like their tech stack or, the product they're building.
I'm trying to remember which one that I would. Let's ask you again.
One startup company in Ghana, not your own, that you secretly admire.
I would say Expressway.
Expressway. Wow. Anyway, let's move on.
Well, I a startup. That's how the
But even if they were a startup, I wouldn't.
But it's a
expect
tech company,
you.
right?
Yeah, I mean it counts. But what's a lot harder, writing tests or naming variables?
I think to me is naming variables.
Naming variables, okay. Yeah, that's valid. I mean, if you know what's your
No,
code
my
does
team,
it
my,
test.
the data team, no. If you don't name the variable correctly, forget it. Someone going to check it in the future for you.
Okay. Would you rather have no internet for a week or fix a production bug on live TV?
Production bug on live TV.
Okay, interesting one. The senior dev's talking. What's one piece of advice you'd give to your junior dev self in 5 words or less?
What's the question again?
Piece of advice you give to your junior dev self, yourself as a junior dev in 5 words or less.
Stop learning how to code. Learn how to solve problems.
And then
Awesome. I think that's all for this week. Are there any opportunities?
I think the biggest opportunity is that West Africa has opened their training program.
Awesome.
This is a teamed AI program. I mean, if you want to, this is the right time to build. This is the right time to solve problems and then build an AI startup from Ghana to the world. So we'll leave a link for you to apply. It's the best program in Africa. Arguably the best program in Africa.
I mean, I don't think it's arguable. I mean, it's the best.
So we'll leave a link in there. Please apply if you fit. I think they have added some complexities on who can be.
I mean, they pay you to build, right?
Yeah. You don't think
It's
about
It's a
like
full
they're paying
time.
you to learn.
I know, right?
I always say,
You can still go.
the house.
no, analyze doesn't have that model again. But I wish I moved to Accra early to enjoy the days of Accra. Because, see, I'm not saying I'm bad now, but I think if I came early, I'd have enjoyed what I'm enjoying in my 20s.
Yeah.
Right, the benefits I'm getting from being a
I don't think so.
probably.
When we are done, we can have
Okay. That's a wrap for this week. Thank you guys for watching. Please do like and subscribe our YouTube page. Building Bytes on YouTube and all our social media handles. See you next week. Peace.